What's up everyone, welcome back to Satisfactory 1.0. We ended off last episode by making some computers and other electric parts, but today we're gonna unlock phase 3, so let's get straight into it. As you can see, we have everything required, including the versatile frameworks, modular engines and adaptive control units, which I made off the episode after we made the circuit boards, which we needed for this. So we can put everything inside. And okay, we're missing 100 versatile frameworks from that container. So we're gonna fill all of this up, and then we're gonna send it to our space station. So I'm not gonna skip anything. If you want to go over the animation, you can skip to the time on the top of the screen.
Welcome to the Project Assembly Pioneer Progress presentation. Congratulations, the Phase 3 project part shipment is finally ready for delivery. On delivery, Phase 3 will be completed and the main body will be constructed. You should know how this works by now. You'll get access to tiers 7 and 8 in the hub. In fact, perhaps you should just go look at the technologies there yourself. It's all laid out so that even a monkey could understand it, so you should have no issues. Speaking of which, I don't think you need a reminder about project parts. Instead, I will be providing some interesting facts. Did you know the average pioneer succeeds at saving the day? Did you know the average pioneer knows how to optimize pipe throughput? Did you know the average pioneer stays late at work because they care about humanity? Anyway, I thought you might want to know more about your peers. Good luck in Phase 4. Phase 3 of Project Assembly completed. Fixit's predictions indicate pioneers should generally reach this point faster with above average results, but we should all adjust our expectations according to the situation. It is understandable. The pressure and complexity will only increase from here, so be sure to take on Phase 4 with efficiency and competence.
So our space station is actually coming together pretty quickly right now. So you can now go to the hub and check out some of these new upgrades. The main part of phase 3 is pretty much aluminium and some nuclear power. So we have the bauxite refinement, which is aluminium, hover pack, Mark V belts, which is aluminium, hazmat suits, control system development, which includes supercomputers, which some of you probably figured is that one manufacturer we have in our Catrium production. In tier 8, we have drone ports, nuclear power, advanced aluminum production, miner Mark III, which includes the turbo motors, and some particle accelerators and plutonium. So, I already unlocked all of the tier 5 and 6 things from the previous phase. There wasn't much except for like trains, but I don't think we're gonna use them yet. So that's what we unlocked. Obviously, the first thing we want to do is aluminum production. But actually, we may want to do some crystal oscillators first just so that they start working in the background, and they're gonna be somewhere around here. So before we actually start with the aluminium production, we can build some crystal oscillators, which we're gonna need in the future. And this is our production. It's a lot of manufacturers, but that's just because they're slow. So here we have 300 ore coming from these two impure nodes down there, and I think they're overclocked a little bit, so 150 from each. So we have 300 belt here, going into 4.44 refineries. This one's at 44%, producing what's it called, quartz crystals, going into 12.96 crystal oscillators manufacturers, and they're just extremely slow because they give like 1 per minute. This in total gives us around 13 crystal oscillators. I didn't show the process of building it because it's very simple. It's just the quartz crystals and reinforced iron plates and copper wire from this iron node over here and this copper node over here. And there are some smelters and constructors to turn into wire and then into cables. And here it just cast iron screws, and on the bottom there are just iron plates going into 2.16 bolted iron plates assemblers, giving us like 30.2, I think, something around that. And this just gives us 13 crystal oscillators. So we're gonna use this later for like radio control units. But now we can actually get to the aluminum, which is going to be in somewhere around here. There's a pure bauxite node and some coal. So I'm gonna set up some foundations over here. Before we get to building the factory, we actually need to unlock the aluminum production. So we can just get that. And this unlocks the base aluminum stuff.
Bauxite is refined
so we actually need to go with some hard drives now, because there's a few alternate recipes which we're gonna use. So this is our spot for our aluminum production. So we have a pure node over here of bauxite and two normal nodes of coal over here, and we're getting some water from the river over there. So this is planned for Mark 6 belts and Mark 3 miners, which means we won't be able to use it at full power yet, but we're actually pretty close to Mark 5 belts, but also Mark 3 miners. So we're going to be using 6 refineries, which we can place over here. I mean 6 of them, and they're going to be doing sloppy alumina, which is going to turn bauxite into alumina solution. And for now we're going to leave them at full power, but then we're going to actually have to turn off some of these. So now the next step is going to be turning that into aluminum scraps. So we can place another 6 refineries over here, and these are producing alumina solution 1-to-1, which means this can basically just go with Mark II pipes. It's just gonna go like this. So this is gonna be how it's connected. But the thing is, this needs also coal. So we're gonna have to place splitters over here on the 3rd level, so the pipes have some space. So now we have our splitters placed, so we can set it to aluminum scrap, so we can paste it into all of them. We're gonna then actually have to turn off most of these, but we're gonna do that later. And we need to bring coal over here, so we can just place it 2 notches higher, because it's on a higher foundation because of a little mountain under here. Let's go like that, because there's little cliff over here, so we had to raise the refineries by 1. We can also place the splitters for bauxite. Now we have our splitters for bauxite also placed, so you can get our bauxite from the middle belt over here and line this up like that. And now we need to do water. So this is going to be 480 water. So we're going to place pipeline splitters, but we're going to have to play with it a little bit. So for now let's place all these splitters, and now that we place them we can connect them to water. So we can connect the refineries because that's just going to be a straight pipe over here, but we're actually going to be reusing some water from the processing over here because this produces water. And this is going to produce 720 water, which is enough to power 3 and some of this one. And this is going to power 2 and some of this one. So we're going to get our water here. Let's connect it maybe here, here. And we're going to have to move this by a little bit. So we have our water connected, and this is going to be the first 2 of them, over this, and a little bit of this one. So we're going to actually have to place a valve in between this, here, and place it here, and if we place some pipelines going into it, we can now set this to 80. Because each refinery uses 200 water, and we have 480 from the water extractor, so 80 is going to go into this one. And here we're going to have 720 water, so 3 full refineries, and this one is going to have 120 water going in from here. So it's actually the other way. Just to turn that around. Yeah. And this one is gonna set to 120. So now we have a 120 and 80 water going into this single refinery, which is 200. We also need to collect the output from the refineries over here, so we can get the water output, say in this one, and this is going to provide the previous refineries just like we connected them to water. So I actually connected the loop now with water, and I realized this is a 720 pipe which doesn't exist, so I had to do the 120 over here. So actually this is a closed loop now. This is just going 5 of them going to 3 of these, and this one is just going with a valve still here to the single one, so it removes like the risk of this just flowing too much or too little. Also I added buffers here so the water can build up a little bit, and now we need to get to the next part, which is smelters. So we have the bauxite coming from there, and we need 36 smelters. So I think we're gonna do 9 on the lower floor and 9 on the lower floor on the other side, and also 9 on the second floor on both sides. So I'm just gonna quickly build them right now. Okay, so I built the smelters and also connected the refineries to power and everything to power. So the water is also starting to go. So I think they're This one won't work. I also like stopped some of them so that they actually work correctly. So this one, yeah, this one works at 96%, and these two, this one works at 44 and this one works at 100, and it's the same thing here because they're one-to-one. Just this one has to start up this one, which will start up this one, which will start up these ones. So the water has to just like start flowing and start working. So we have some aluminum scraps going out, and they're going to smelters with the pure aluminum ingot recipe, which is the 2-to-1. The one with silica is a little better, but there's literally no quartz nearby. There's like no quartz here, there's only quartz like on the edges of the red forest. The problem now is that we actually need to bring this back to our base because the closest copper ore is here and here, where our crystal oscillators are. So we actually need to bring this all the way here. So I'll let this work, and I'm actually gonna bring the belt all the way over there. Okay, so I brought the aluminum all the way from over there with a belt. It would be a lot better with tracks, but we have not set up a network for tracks and trains yet. I have some blueprints prepared for roads, but it's gonna be in the future. Probably like pretty close future though, like next episode or maybe even next one. So we have our copper here. It's going from the same source as the crystal oscillators. So we have 9.33 refineries because the last one over there is overclocked, and this produces 350 copper, which goes into 8 alclad aluminum sheets assemblers and 4 aluminum casing assemblers, which are the more efficient recipe. Just an alternate recipe for them because they normally they don't use copper, but now they do with this more efficient recipe. So now they're going in. It's going to slow down, they just built up a little bit. For now, half of the production is pretty much stopped because our aluminum setup isn't like working at full power yet. So for now we're only getting half of what we're going to be getting after some time. But still, that's quite a lot. They're already building up here. So if we get some of these resources, we can unlock belt Mark 5. For now, we don't need anything else. But next episode, I think we're going to get to the advanced aluminum production and also to control system development. So we're going to start making supercomputers, radio control units, and maybe fused modular frames if we're able to get the nitrogen gas from all the way over like edge of the map, like somewhere here. So we might actually have to set up a train or track network that goes all the way here, because I'm not building pipes for like 2 kilometers. So now we have to get to our aluminum plant and set it to like 600 bauxite. So when we use a Mark 5 belt, we can max out the miner, a Mark 2 miner, which is 600. So now we can use 1.2 refineries that use water from the water extractors, and 1.8 of refineries that use the water from the byproduct water from the aluminum scrap. And that should be a perfect ratio, so the water never fills up the system. And that is producing 1080 scraps which is 540 ingots going on this belt over here, which I actually have to upgrade. I don't think we use even that much on the assemblers for now, and we don't have to, but for now that's a lot of aluminum. So I'm just gonna make sure that all of this works, but I think that's gonna be it for today. Make sure you like and subscribe if you want more, and next episode I'm guessing we're gonna do the radio control units, supercomputers, and maybe turbo motors and pressure, the fused modular frames. But we have to, as I said, we have to get the nitrogen from over here. So we're gonna have to start by building a train network over there. So I hope you enjoyed. See you in the next one. Bye bye!